Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of your Frederish podcast. My name's Gary and here I am once again. So why don't you just run and go grab your cup of coffee, tea, water, iced tea, beer, I don't know, whatever it takes for you to relax. Just as usual, because this is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. And today we're going to talk about something usually more important than the usual topics we bring here. Some people would say, and I tend to agree, that this is the most important thing, or one of the most important things someone has, or at least has to think about or consider health. Okay. Well, why is it so important? In case you're wondering about it, well, it is important because what do you do without health, right? There is a saying that is very interesting. It goes, health isn't everything, but everything is nothing without health. And that's so true. Can you imagine, for example, just as a reasoning exercise here before we get started, before we jump into it? Let's suppose you're the richest person in the world right now. Okay, you got all the money, you got $300 gazillion to spend, whatever the way you want to spend it. But there's one detail: your health is shit. Okay, for example, you can't even walk 100 meter, okay, properly. If you try to, in my hypothetical situation here, you will end up, risking death or even dying, for that matter. I ask you the question, considering this hypothetical scenario. What would all the money be worth it without health, right? I think anyone would agree that money without health isn't, anything, is nothing, basically, right? Okay, all right. It's kind of an exaggerated scenario, I understand, but I'm just making a point, okay? So you can visualize and get into the same vibe in case you already aren't on the same vibe I am right now. That is to talk about health. And one very, very important disclaimer, guys, is I'm not talking about staying fit. Okay, health isn't necessarily about staying fit, and vice versa, I would say, right? There are very fit people, not fat, who aren't as healthy as they could or should. Okay, take for example bodybuilders. Okay, I love bodybuilding. I try to train. I'm not a bodybuilder, of course, but I love it. I follow guys on the social medias talking about it. But truth of the matter is, it isn't necessarily a health sport. To be honest, guys, high performance sports aren't necessarily healthy things, right? Because of the obvious, you have to push your body to the limits, and that's not how things are supposed to go. So basically, wrapping it all up, we're gonna talk about health, okay? Which isn't necessarily about being fit, okay? So go grab your things and and sit down, relax, and let's just jump into it. Okay, so I'd like to ask you a question. You would just pause this video and meditate about it, or if you prefer, at the end of this episode, I would really like you to think about it, okay? The question is, how do you preserve your health? Meaning, what do you do on your daily basis in order to keep healthy, okay? To keep your body going the best you can, right? And I would even say more. Not only your body, your mind, okay? Which things? What do you do to preserve yourself? Like, do you exercise? Do you practice sports? Do you go for a walk every day? More onto the mind aspect of health. Do you meditate? Do you keep yourself as away as possible from pointless stressful situations, for example, like traffic jam beefs, like fighting people on the traffic jam, for example, just to give you one quiet and indisputable point to think about. Okay, do you keep yourself away from useless stresses? Okay, because there is, unfortunately or not so unfortunately, the necessary stress during the day. I'm definitely not talking about it, although this is something for you to take care. But how does it go for you when it comes to preserving your health? What do you do? Okay, guys, so I divided this topic into three main parts. First of all, diet, okay, the things you eat and the things, of course, you don't eat. Second, exercise, okay, and third, peace of mind, okay, peace of spirit. No matter what you believe, if you believe in mind, if you believe in spirit, if you believe in both, that's not the point, okay? So these 3 points are the pillars of health, basically. I'm open to anyone disagreeing to this point, but I would dare to say that this is kind of universal. Everyone would agree with me on that, at least maybe on the basic, maybe not on the details, but on the basic structure, the 3 pillars of health. Maybe there are more pillars of health, as I'm saying here, but these 3 are indisputably the main ones. Okay, so let's just jump into it. The first one, and I would say the most important, but truth of the matter, guys, is there isn't any of these 3 points more or less important than the others. They all complementing each other, like think of 3 pillars supporting each other. If one falls, the other 2 go after it. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so the first one, diet. And interesting as it sounds, dieting isn't only about the things you eat, but also about things you don't eat. Okay, I'm not gonna lie and say I am a person who never eats anything that I shouldn't. Okay, but me personally, I try my best to eat the minimum of things that aren't healthy. Okay, say candies, for example. I don't drink alcohol, but let's just put myself in a position of a regular person. If I were into drinking, I would just do that socially. But guys, socially is really socially, not socially every day. Some people say I drink socially. Okay, how often do you go out every day? So come on, this is an alcoholic person. But anyways, again, I don't drink. I don't like alcohol. But if I were to drink, which is in my opinion not a problem per se, I would do that once a week top, probably once a month, right? But about processed food, for example, it's almost impossible today to be away from eating at least a little bit of these things, right? But I would say I try to keep myself as much away as possible from these things. About candies, I'm in the early 30s. So when I was younger, I would eat lots of chocolates and things like that, okay, and goodies in general. Today, I keep myself as much away as possible from these things. For example, speaking of chocolate, I ate a lot of chocolate at the end of the year, candies and stuff, and I kind of make a project for today is February, by the way, 2024, to just eat the next chocolate bar in July this year. Okay, of course I had a little bit here and there in a cake or any other dessert thing, but the amount is so minimum that I don't even consider eating chocolate. Maybe you disagree, but that's it. So this is the thing. Why do I do that? I'm almost 35, okay? So from now on, I don't mean to disencourage you if you're 35 or 45 or even 65 from eating candies, but truth of the matter is, if you want to be minimally healthy, you can't just surrender yourself to it, putting this way, right? It's a tough pill to swallow, guys, I know, but that's it. That's how things are. Our body isn't made for that crap. To be, forgive my French here, but that's it, right? So I try, and I suggest you would try. How do you start? Okay. Well, I have used during my life very successfully, I would say, the following strategy. That is having things. So what is having? Having is like in half, okay? So cutting things in half. So say, for example, you eat lots of chocolate, okay? First of all, in order to cut it in half, you need to measure it, right? That's it. So you keep 1 or 2 weeks without any changes. Hopefully you won't have any problems in 2 weeks. 2 weeks shouldn't be necessarily a problem, but you would be religiously tracking the amount of candies. Let's use chocolate just as a general example here of goodies, okay? That's it, of unhealthy goodies. It's kind of redundant, unhealthy goodies, but that's it. So you have to track it, okay? Like, how many bars of chocolate have I eaten this week? Okay, that's it, And the next week onwards, you should have it, meaning you should cut it into half, okay? Say you eat 10 bars of chocolate, next week you will start eating 5 top, okay? It will be hard, your body will fight against it, because I recorded an episode here, very interesting, very important, I would say, about the book Power of Habit recently, by the way. You should go check it out in case you haven't listened to it so far. But we're creatures of habit, as the book pretty much proves, And of course, your mind and body will fight together against you in order to go back to the 10 bars of chocolate, and maybe even more than 10, okay? But you will fight back. I believe you. I believe you, okay? Have a friend helping you, if that's your situation, of course. If it's not, just keep going. Just keep practicing English. Okay. And then once you reduce by the half the amount, okay, you should establish a term for another reduction, 50% reduction. I don't know, 1 month later, 2 months later, 6 months later. It doesn't matter, provided it isn't like 35 years later, of course. But when we're talking about months, okay, and guys, don't play tricks here. Don't say 200 months. No, that's a more than 10 years, right? No, months, not years. So if we're not talking about years, talking about months, good. 8 months, 6 months, 1 month, 15 days. Up to you. Whatever it will work best for you, okay? Will work the best for you. That's it. Go for it, okay? So this is the dieting thing. Okay, I'm here talking about only the things you shouldn't eat, or you shouldn't eat as much. We shouldn't eat as much as we do occasionally. And of course, the easiest part is like eating things you should. I mean, who doesn't like fruits, for example, and vegetables? I cannot believe that there are people who don't like fruits and vegetables, okay? You don't necessarily, no one likes all fruits and all vegetables, of course. We all have our favorite ones. But that's it, okay? You should just include, okay, include it on your diet, or include more, okay? Because if we're talking about a reduction at some place in your stomach, so to say, there must be a complement, okay? So guys, that's one of the best exchanges someone can ever do to his or her body, to his or her health, is exchanging, say, 100 grams of a chocolate for 100 or 200 grams of something healthy, a fruit or a vegetable. Indisputable, okay? And that will help you fighting. Remember to fight against the reduction that will be you versus your mind and your body. I've just mentioned a few seconds ago. That's it. You will have help in this fight by eating more, okay? One interesting strategy for compulsive eaters, okay? Maybe not your case, but it's the situation of lots of people out there. Is it like be compulsive with healthy things? Okay, this isn't the best thing. Okay, being compulsive eater isn't, even for healthy things, isn't the ideal, the perfect solution, but it's way better than being compulsive eater with crap, with, you know, fast food, candies, goodies, whatever. Guys, it's very important to say I'm not a professional in this area, okay? I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, okay? So you shouldn't take what I'm saying here as a rule, okay? But only as a wake-up call. Why not? I like this term, to go after a professional that can really assist you. But honestly, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to go to a professional, or if you don't, or if you do not have the money for it, that shouldn't be a reason for you to, you know, to not do anything, okay? You can start, like, you know, no one has ever died by eating fruits and vegetables. Of course, there are exceptions, allergies and stuff, but in general, okay, go be careful, but start little by little, you know, don't do anything sudden, you know, don't just try cutting off things you're eating today and replace them with a totally 100% brand new dieting menu, okay? That won't work. That has everything to fail, okay? Plus it's dangerous, okay? That's a disclaimer I'd like to bring here. Second, and more fun, I would say, exercising. Again, I'm not talking about exercising to become a bodybuilder or, you know, someone, or a high performance athlete, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you, like, you should look for something, if you aren't already doing that, something you like, a sport, an activity, you know. Everyone should enjoy walking or even running, okay? If you don't enjoy running, if you tried run, I believe if you tried running and you haven't enjoyed it, I have a theory about it. It's not that you don't like it, it's that you haven't found the correct way to do that. For example, where did you go for a run? Did you go in a place where there are lots of people who judge you? Okay, lots of people who know you and will judge you, provided you care, of course. If you don't, much better if you don't care, but let's be realistic here. If you care, what, you know, other people will judge you, like, hey, the fatty running, finally, you know. And regardless of the fact that this will happen or not, if it happens in our mind, it's reason enough to disencourage us, right? So think about it. If you have gone for a walk or a run and you felt like bad about it, like, I'm not doing that tomorrow, think about it, okay? If that's the case, obvious solution, go find somewhere where nobody freaking knows who you are, okay? That should work for you. Second, how did you do that? Is the environment, still on the wheres, is the environment a pleasant environment? Is it a dangerous environment? Because maybe even subconsciously you weren't feeling comfortable about the location. There are cars passing by, dangerous people, I don't know, okay? And you haven't realized that, because our mind, our brain works this way sometimes. It kind of gets us in the mood that the brain wants us to, but doesn't bring the specifics, okay? So think about it carefully, make sure, you know, you're in the right place doing it. Second of all, doing it the right way. Well, honestly, guys, when I probably shared this story before, but I lost 15 kilos. That is almost 7 pounds, 8 pounds, something around 7 and 8 pounds. Something about 17 to 18 pounds, okay? Again, no, my math is horrible. Not that my math is horrible, but we don't usually work with pounds here in Brazil, so forgive me. 15 kilos is like more than 30 pounds, okay? 31, 32 pounds more or less, okay? So I lost that. I shared this information before, but I have to be honest with you guys. First of all, as a reminder, I lost it only running. Not exercising, not going to the gym, only running. 15 kilos in 2 or 3 months, 4 months, if my memory serves me well. Only running, 100% running, nothing more than that, okay? And I have to be honest with you guys, that's something specific about me, but I believe I wouldn't have been successful if I didn't have one little things. My earbuds, okay, my wireless earbuds, my phones, because I love music. And one of the things I would do when I was running was listening to encouraging music, to high energy music, music that will keep me vibrating in the good way, okay? No matter what you believe that vibrating means, but keep me a good mindset, a positive thinking during that period. That really got me addicted to running, okay? And this is how things work when you get addicted. Of course, big parenthesis here. Be careful, of course. Make sure you're wearing a good pair of shoes. If you don't, that would be a hell of a good investment if you would buy a good pair of shoes, okay, for doing that. That's what I did, by the way. And that's it. And of course, be careful. Try not to do that during late in the night or even so early in the morning, because it's Brazil. It's a dangerous place. Or if you're into a fight, for example, or any other sport, much better, okay? Much better. The only thing I would suggest for those of you who already know how it goes, who already practice or have this on your background, already know how cool it is to practice sports, to exercise, to move your body every day, I would just advise you to, as bringing myself as an example again, be careful not to lose this habit, okay? Be careful, first of all, not to get hurt, okay? Because one of the things that take someone who exercises, who's an active person, who's not a sedentary person, and transforms this person into a sedentary person of the worst species, if that makes any sense, is a wound, meaning when this person gets hurt, because they have to stay off for a couple of months in some cases, and that's totally discouraging. That breaks the habits we have so hardly, so arduously, so strongly developed, okay, and takes it out of our hands, okay. And this is bad, okay? So be careful not to get hurt. First of all, my word of advice would be, and second of all, be careful not to lose this habit, okay? Because of course, sometimes it's not only getting hurt that can take you out of this habit. Maybe you got a promotion on your job, cool, nice, that's good, that's plausible. But don't just let this take you away from your focus, of exercising, of moving your body every day. I'm gonna use this word from now on, moving your body every day. All right? Oh, there's one extra thing I would like to say about exercising. Well, it's not a surprise that one of the biggest reasons for people to start exercising is losing weight. And I would go even deeper, even a degree deeper. Not only losing weight, but looking better in the mirror, okay? And one degree deeper, even deeper, lose belly, okay? Lose belly. Well, again, I'm not a specialist, but by looking at people, looking at myself, at people around me during all my 35 years of existence on this planet, I would say that there are different, and this is science, by the way, of course. I'm just not speaking, I'm just not talking about it as an expert, okay? The fat accumulation goes differently, occurs differently from person to person, okay? So some people will have a harder job losing that so dreadly, accepted belly, okay? And some people won't, okay? So what's the thing I would like to say here? I see a lot of people, especially people in their 50s, especially those in their 50s, just walking every day and expecting to have a six-pack ab, or even only walking and doing sit-ups, okay? Sit-ups, by the way, if you don't know, is the abdominal exercise. We call abdominal in Portuguese, abdominal, all right? That won't work, okay? Let me just tell you that. Why that won't work? Because, well, six-pack ab only happens if your fat percentage, the body fat percentage, is lower than 10%. Okay, these people I'm talking about, just by looking at them, I can tell they have like at least 20%, 25% in some cases, right? And why? Because walking is walking great. I'm talking about walking, not talking about running. Okay, is walking a great thing? Yes, of course. If you're a sedentary person, if you're not doing anything, that's hell of a progress. But don't expect it to make miracles. You know what will make miracle on that subject? Running. Okay, when you run, you start seeing things, happen. You start burning some real calories, and then you really see things happening. Of course, you can sabotage that. You can sabotage that by eating a lot. Okay, so make sure you're running, you're really burning calories, and make sure you're keeping the diet, the first topic of this episode, just okay. And getting into the third and last part of this episode, peace of spirit. Okay, well, I'm not gonna talk about religion. I'm not gonna talk about cosmovision here. What do you believe? Do you believe we're souls into bodies? Do you believe we're merely matter? Carbon atoms, carbon molecules, so to say. Okay, doesn't make any difference. Okay, what do you do? The question is, what do you do to keep your mind okay? Okay, to keep you not stressed, away from stress as much as possible. Again, let's not be hypocrites or alienists here, but there are ways. Okay, well, a big problem we have today is that we have social medias. Of course, I'm an enthusiast about social medias. I think it has brought more positive things than negative things. But of course, it has brought a lot of negative things, and most of these negative things are mind things, okay, mental things, psychological things, if you will. Like you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, your body, your life, your intelligence. Also, there are unnecessary fights and even evil fights going on, politics, for example. Well, one thing I would just tell you, this is gonna be a short one, this part, is that keep yourself as away from these things as possible. Again, as possible. I know it's not, I'm not encouraging anyone to delete their social medias, plus because I'm not doing that. But I'm encouraging you to try to ignore as much as possible. First of all, about direct provocations, about direct conflicts, like someone stating a different opinion or making fun of what you believe. Just ignore these people. There's the unfollow button, or the blocking button, if you will. There, go for it. Give it a good usage. Make sure you don't follow people you don't feel comfortable at reading. No, it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. That's not the point. What do you want? To be happy or to be right? I think being happy is more important than being right, provided that the things that we think right or wrong can be effectively proven right or wrong. Most of them, like politics, for example, it's an endless discussion, which I appreciate at some level, but I keep healthy distance, and I think you should as well. Well, about meditation, it's another thing that is important, regardless of what you believe. Okay, you should just choose one of a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your day to relax, to not think about anything, to keep your mind blank. Okay, and breathe and make sure you understand how this process goes. And I have to be honest with you guys, I'm not the best person to talk about it, because this is one of the things that is on my to-do list, to add to my routine, to my habit list. And I haven't managed so far, but I'm struggling, I'm working, and I one day will hopefully make a full episode only talking about it. Okay, again, meditation regardless of religion. Okay, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm an atheist. No problem, my friend. Go for it. Okay, you believe in your mind, right? You believe you have thoughts coming in and out of your brain, right? Of your head. That's it. That's what it takes. Okay. Well, that's it. Okay. There are the obvious things about peace of spirit. but I'm not gonna go into them. This should be enough for today. I would really like to hear your opinion, to read your comments about this topic. That's all for today. Thank you so very much one more time for this episode, for the company on this episode. I see you in the next one. Bye bye.